Hello and welcome! We are wrapping up with the selected Studio Ghibli films that I want to pick out for this series with My Neighbor Totoro today. My Neighbor Totoro is a little interesting of a case because it was originally released by Studio Ghibli back in 1988. There was an English dub back in 1989, so right away after, 1 year after it was released in Japan, and then again released with an English dub in 1993 by Fox, which is the competitive company from Disney, but now we have the 20th Century Fox buyout happening, so it's interesting how things click around. Disney's version of My Neighbor Totoro came out in 2006. It came out in 2006 and it stars Dakota Fanning, Elle Fanning, her sister, as well as we have a whole big, once again, phenomenal cast.
Miyazaki is he's such a wonderful, wonderful filmmaker. It's that obvious love for what he does.
That's what makes Miyazaki a great filmmaker. Heart.
It's evident in the films that he makes.
It's really beautiful. I mean, the animation is very creative. It's kind of out there.
It's cool because Dakota and Elle are sisters in real life, and they play sister Suzuki and Mei in this film. And we have Tim Daly, that is their father, and Leah Sagona, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, I'm sorry, who was the singing voice in Milan. She's a really huge Broadway actor. She was in Miss Saigon, and she's known for a lot of different work, so it's really cool that they do use a lot of these Disney known actors. And Pat Carroll, who was the voice of Ursula, is the granny in this. So again, they're not the most known people, but there's still so much Disney roots in here. And everyone does all these recurring characters, and it's really nice to see. Similar to Kiki's Delivery Service, where it's just more of a simple slice of life story, this one follows that compared to Spirited Away, which was a really, really dramatic, serious story. This one is a lot more lighthearted, but it's a good mixture between the two because there are some serious moments, especially with the climax at the end. It's a slow build up. It's basically like them getting settled into their new home. So Suzuki and Mei are moving. This is a common theme that I've noticed. I didn't plan it this way, but here's the common theme between all these three films. Everyone's moving somewhere and something happens, and that's where the adventure comes in.
Adventure is up there!
So there's that. And they move into this house that is known to be haunted with their father while their mother is in the hospital trying to get better, and they moved to be closer to the mother while she got better and she can join them in this new home. They have a tree in the backyard, and the tree ends up having these little forest spirits in there. They can only see the forest spirits if they are a child. It's very imaginative. It's like the Santa Claus of the Japanese world. I really like how Japanese culture admires the spirits, and that it's a really cute, wonderful world. It's not creepy, it's not scary, and they really pay a lot of respect to the spirits, which is a really cool angle. Completely different from Western audience. They end up meeting Totoro, so Mei finds him first, and he's this giant forest creature that doesn't talk at all, but he's similar to a Japanese Mary Poppins. He ends up helping protect them in little ways, and they are able to live side by side. They help each other out. It's really sweet. And at the end, he helps them go and see the mother when they want to, when she once again finds out that she still is not able to go home yet. She's still fighting her illness, and he helps them get there a lot faster so they can see her. It's really sweet. It's a very simple plot, but it's done and executed so excellently well, and I really admire these stories because of how simplistic they are. And like I said, slice of life. It's really cool to watch, and it's extremely relatable. And even though there's always that mystical aspect of it that makes it a lot more fantasy based, but it's really neat. I love it. Totoro, there's so much merchandise with Totoro. He's huge, especially around the anime cons, and even Hot Topic is selling the whole line of Studio Ghibli merchandise now, which you can get a lot of Studio. You can get Totoro, you can get Kiki, you get Gigi, which is awesome. Spirited Away has stuff. So you can find it all over the place, which is really cool. It's just a little bit more expensive, and I'm not sure why that is, especially if you want authentic merchandise, which is why I don't own that much of it, but the characters are awesome. Unfortunately now, the rights were taken away from Disney. They didn't renew the contract, so these are all films that were owned by Disney, and Disney released them. And they still sell the Studio Ghibli merchandise in the Epcot Pavilion in Japan. As I will show you that I completely fangirled over it. My stuff, I love Studio Ghibli, and I wish I could afford, and I want to show off what they have right now. Totoro and Spirited Away. And where is my Gigi? Because my Gigi's my favorite. Like, these little makeup bags are precious. I wish I could get those, but they're really expensive. And all these beautiful Gigis are wonderful, including these little Gigi dish towels, which I would love to have for my kitchen even though they don't match my theme. But for whatever reason, Studio Ghibli stuff is so expensive. So I don't own that much of it. Like, my wallet's a Gigi wallet, and I love it so much. And every time I pull it out, I get a lot of compliments on it. Like, people are aware of it. So I'm really surprised. I didn't think it was that big a film, but I guess it is. It's definitely one of my favorites. They are distributed now by a different company. However, if they were to give the rights back, or decided just to put a ride in, because I'm sure you totally could put a ride in, and for fantasy purposes, because I know it's not going to happen, but I wish it would happen, to have a Studio Ghibli ride in the Japan Pavilion Epcot. I would love there to have the cat bus as the vehicle, and it could be a dark ride roller coaster, and you can go through the different scenes of Studio Ghibli films. There's over 18, 19 I think, and they're all so different, and I would love to have a huge montage of you just traveling like the Great Movie Ride, but a roller coaster with the cat bus and different films. And I would love to have a mega ride featuring all these films. I know this won't happen, but that would be a dream, and that would be the best thing ever. You still have an intellectual property, but it's still something that's a little bit more original compared to what they're doing literally with every single ride that they're bringing into the parks. But it's something that adds a lot more culture, and that's what I love. I love the different culture and how much I can learn from these films. And they're brilliant. The music is brilliant every single time I say it. The animation is flawless. Everything is perfection. The stories are so different from each other, but everything is still perfection. I love how it has that common theme within each other, but it's still, they all stand alone on their own. I literally could talk about all these films, and there's so many more that you should watch besides these. So I hope that you are enjoying this discussion. I hope you've enjoyed it, and this is where I would recommend. If I could do a whole month of Studio Ghibli, but because they are just partnered with Disney, I didn't want to focus on that. That's why I only picked 3. But we're gonna get back on track with other films that aren't Studio Ghibli, even though I wish I could dedicate an entire month to all of them, but there's not enough to fill a month. But yeah, you get my point. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about Avatar, another intellectual property that completely invaded Animal Kingdom. So stay tuned for that. I'm not necessarily looking forward to watching this film, but it's still an important movie to the Disney Studios right now, especially with what they do with Animal Kingdom, so obviously we have to talk about it. So stay tuned. And as always, I hope you have a magical day, and I will see you real soon.